What's going on, guys? I am Michael Anthony. Thank you for checking out my article in the February edition of Shutter Magazine. This month, guys, we're talking all about business, specifically understanding your cost of doing business and how you guys can use it to develop better packages and create more sales. Our photography industry, as you guys know, has been plagued by a simple fact. Photographers come into our industry as artists, and in order to get their name out there or in order to draw in business in the very beginning, they price themselves at an unsustainable rate, and they deliver a product that is not going to allow them to deliver more sales down the line. So for instance, you start your business on a Tuesday, and on Saturday, you're selling digital files for $100 to families. You're offering mini sessions, all sorts of stuff like that. You guys have seen this in the industry. You know what I'm talking about, and it's a problem, and it's got to stop, right? But the reason that photographers do that is because they come into the industry, and instead of understanding what their costs are to run a business or run a sustainable business, they look at what other people are doing. And in the very beginning, they don't know where to find their competitors, so they go to places like Craigslist or Facebook or things like that, and they see what what photographers are charging, and they make assumptions, and they price themselves based on those assumptions, and eventually get burned out and go out of business. It's a never-ending cycle. In fact, I've seen it in my local market over and over and over again for the last 6 or 7 years. There was a cycle of photographers in the beginning, and they have gone through the business, out of the business, and now we have a new cycle of photographers who are going through the same thing. So for me, as an educator, guys, I try, even in my local market, to educate photographers on how to properly run a business and how to properly price their work, okay? And the way that you guys do that, or the way that I recommend doing it, is to start with your own income expectations, okay? What do you want to make from photography? And don't base this on a part-time income, because I'm telling you guys right now, if you're doing this part-time, and let's just say you're younger, right? I'm not talking to you people who are doing this and it's on a side job and you're going to retire and continue doing it in the future. I'm talking to more people who are coming into this and want to make a career out of it, right? If you're starting this and you start off on the wrong foot, you'll never be able to recover. Okay? Because your market is going to your brand is going to become synonymous with the product and quality that you're offering. So when you come into this industry, understand what your income expectations are. If you're in California, median income is somewhere around $50,000 a year. Let's just say you want to make that, okay? So you will come to this number, by the way, by adding up all of your expenses, your living expenses, your rent, your mortgage, your electricity, internet, discretionary income, savings, retirement, blah, 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 right? You guys get all that. You guys know what that number is. Or once you figure out what that number is, should I say, put it in column A. Column B, I need you guys to understand what your business costs are, right? Studio rent, studio employees, editing costs, whatever it may be. All of the costs that are hard costs that you don't acquire per job. That's the first thing, right? So things like rent, things like subscriptions for your online galleries, stuff like that is what I'm talking about. Put that in column B, right? Add those two things up, okay? Then you'll come up with a number. And let's just say that number is $250,000 a year, okay? Because in general, just so you guys know, according to PPA's benchmark surveys, a at-home studio will keep about 50% of the revenue that it brings in. Now keep in mind, that's a general number, which is why I'm telling you guys to go off of this formula, but if your number is way off of that, then there might be something wrong and you might have to look into that, right? But let's just say that number, again, is $250K a year, right? Well, if you're a wedding photographer and let's just say that you can take on 25 clients a year based on your time and management, all this stuff, right? And I'm doing this, by the way, 25 clients a year because it's a round easy number. I'm LA Unified School District graduate, and that comes out to what, $10,000 a wedding, right? So obviously, guys, when you get to that number, you may look at your competitors at that point. Once you figure out what that number is, you need to charge per wedding, okay? And you could see if it's feasible or not. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, you're going to have to add your your hard costs per job onto that. So let's just say you get to that number. Now you guys have $1,000 in costs for your wedding, coming from your album, coming from your second shooter, coming from the cost of editing, all of those things. You're actually gonna have to charge $11,000 per job in order to hit that $10,000 mark that will help you fill the 250K you need to make the amount of money that you want, right? So once you get to that number, once you figure that out, now you can start looking at your competitors and start seeing what they offer in terms of value. Because remember, people don't buy based on product based on price. They buy based on value and what's valuable for them. Case in point, we might have a couple who comes in and an engagement session might be something that's super important to them, right? So by including an engagement session in our packages, okay, that is something that is valuable to them, and it's a decision that they may use to book us based upon a competitor. Now, that's a very, very blunt example. Almost every photographer these days includes some sort of an engagement session in their packages, right? So your job, again, is to figure out how to leverage that and be able to turn it into more money, right? So maybe it's just a waiver of your engagement session fee. Maybe you guys are giving a better album than your competitors. Maybe you guys are adding additional hours of coverage or more pages, or maybe the quality of the album that you're giving is better than your competitors. And how do you guys determine this, right? Well, at the end of the day, guys, there's no substitute for hard work. You have to immerse yourself in the industry. So that might mean going to bridal shows, walking, even if you're not getting a booth in the very beginning, walking the trade show floor or walking the bridal show floor and seeing what your competitors are offering. If I go to the bridal show and all of my competitors have the same albums, which did happen to me actually last year, I came to this realization, right? We have to change something in our packages, because if they're coming in to meet with us, right, and they're seeing the same books, and I'm talking about how amazing these books are, at that point, it just becomes marketing fluff, right? It's not exclusive. We have to offer better quality, right? So these are decisions that we've made, especially because we're going through a big rebranding in our business, which is what inspired me to write this article for you guys. Because in the very beginning of this rebranding process, I'm changing things in our business that have been static for 4 to 5 to 6 years. And in that process, I've learned that this evaluation has to come once a year in your business. You have to look at everything, your costs, your packages, all that stuff once a year, and you have to make determinations as to whether or not that is going to be something that is feasible for you in the future, or if you have to make changes, okay? That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again for checking out my article in Shutter Magazine. If you guys have any questions about understanding your cost of doing business, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm gonna leave you guys with one final tip real quick that I learned, okay? From the last couple of years, we have been outsourcing our bookkeeping, right? And that's been one of the things that I thought, I didn't want to spend my time doing. Well, with modern technology, guys, it is very easy to do your own accounting in QuickBooks or FreshBooks or whatever you guys do, right? And if you guys take a hold of that process, you look at it for maybe 6 or 7 months, all the data that I'm talking about in terms of the cost of running your business will be a lot more accessible to you, right? So I am gonna leave you with that quick tip before I go, because it just came to my mind, and I think it's really important to make sure you guys are doing your own accounting in your business. I think if you keep eyes on your own money, you'll have a much better idea where things are gonna go. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again for checking out my article, and we will catch you guys in next month's Shutter Magazine.